aici la Bursa de Valori București. Evenimentul de astăzi este unul important și având în vedere invitatul special al acestui eveniment, îl vom organiza, se va derula în limba engleză. So, 20 years ago, Petrom was taking its first step on the capital market. Many years and milestones were on this journey. Today, OMV Petrom, BVB's ticker SNP, the largest integrated energy company in southeastern Europe, is celebrating 20 years as a Bucharest Stock Exchange listed company. On this special occasion, we celebrate together this remarkable journey on the capital market. Now, I would like to invite BVB's president, Mr. Radu Hanga, for the opening speech on this important day, both for OMV Petrom and Bucharest Stock Exchange.
Bună dimineața. Good morning, everybody, dear guests. Happy to have you here today in this special day. I would start by saying that any field of activity needs his heroes. When kids, for example, start playing sports, they are starting with enthusiasm, looking at their models. When kids start playing football, they are looking at names as Ronaldo, as Maradona, as Gika Hagi. They are dreaming to become the next in line, the next big players of the world. When we talk about basketball, we see players like Michael Jordan or Mircea Cristescu. For tennis, of course, we have our big names like Simona Halep, Țiriac, and so on. The same stays true when we talk about the economy. Every day, new companies are born, new investors, entrepreneurs are, I don't know how to say it, trying to bring to life their dreams of building the next big company of the world. Yesterday, for example, we had a listing at the Bucharest Stock Exchange, Appraisal and Valuation, a small company which was set up 10 years ago, which grew by 50 times since the time of the setup. Now came to the Bucharest Stock Exchange, got listed, financed itself, looking at the next 10 years, expecting to grow by another 50 times for the years to come. Today we are celebrating one of the champions of the capital market, as Stefan said before, OMV Petrom. OMV Petrom is a company who went through this journey. It is now the largest company listed at the Bucharest Stock Exchange in terms of market capitalization, 25 billion lei almost. It is the largest player in the Romanian oil and gas industry. And of course, now looking forward at the challenges brought by the green revolution, looking probably how to adapt the old business models to the business model of the world, at least in the energy sector. We are welcoming here Mrs. Cristina Vercher, CEO of Petrom. We are happy to having you here, Cristina, and we would like to invite you to ring the bell for this special day. Cristina, there were many things about the oil and gas industry written in my speech, but I think that you are better connected to the field and more able to speak about your activity.
Thank you very much indeed. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much to all of you for the opportunity to be with you here today. It really is a delight, it's a pleasure, and it's a huge honor, actually, to represent OMV Petrom here. Obviously, we celebrate the 20 years since the listing on the stock exchange. And as a Romanian company with a fundamental role in the country's economy, we are deeply, deeply proud of our transformation journey. And we don't see it just as our own, but also with BVB as well, because obviously you celebrated your 25 years of the modern history just last year of that. And I do see this as a journey. People have heard me talk about it, and I'm humbled by how you talk about the heroes. I think it's very important when you have scale to have confidence and to have humility that comes with that, because I think we all do this together. And I think therefore today is a celebration for OMV Petrom, but it's a celebration for the Bucharest Stock Exchange, and I hope a celebration also for Romania with that. It has been a journey. Since privatization 17 years ago, we have gone through far-reaching, successful transformation and modernization. And during this period, we have sought to provide a stable base for the Romanian economy and to be a reliable energy supplier, a major employer, and a significant contributor to the state budget. We believe we are an attractive investment proposition to our shareholders, supported by our progressive dividend policy. And actually, in 2020, we increased the dividend paid for the 2019 fiscal year by 15% year on year, implying the highest yield and second highest dividend payout among the regional oil and gas companies at the time of the announcement. And we believe this was highly appreciated by our investors, as it came in probably one of the most challenging years, being the pandemic year, coupled along with strong financial results and resilience, which was helped by our share price performance overall. We have outperformed our peers on average in 2020 and in the first 8 months of this year. But I think it's always important to talk beyond the numbers, because the numbers are the outcome, but behind it, I think, is a lot of hard work and people, and what I think is really at the core of us, which is about sustainability. I think that comes with responsibility. Responsibility as a company, to your employees, to your shareholders, to your stakeholders, and obviously, of course, to your customers in that. And sustainability has been at the heart of our business strategy. And as we look forward, as you mentioned, we are taking concrete steps to increase transparency on ESG issues and to improve our sustainability performance. We are proud that in 2020 we became a supporter of the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures, with a hope that many other Romanian companies will join us in this endeavor. 2021 already marks another significant milestone when it comes to the capital markets. The global indices supplier FTSE Russell announced that starting the 20th of September, our shares will be included in the emerging markets indices based on our shares liquidity and the market cap of the company. This to me is sort of further confidence in the attractiveness of our company shares as a result of, I think, continued financial and operational performance and increased transparency. I think this is becoming more and more fundamental to all investors and to society. But I don't think it's just about Petrom being put onto the FTSE Russell. Other companies within the Romanian Stock Exchange have as well. And I think this just continues to show investors' confidence in Romania. And I think this is just a really important factor as we see more companies moving from frontier to emerging markets overall. And we need to continue the transformation. You mentioned this. As an oil and gas company in today's world, we face a really challenging, but I think expected transformations that are required as we go forward. We need to be leaner, more digital, more diverse, and most importantly, we need to lean into the energy transition and what that brings and the opportunities as well as the challenges that will come with that. And we are confident that we will be able to do that. We have come a long way in these years, and our ambition is to continue to go further. People have a lot of confidence in OMV Petrom, and we know that. We see that as our responsibility, and we have the expectation and look to fulfill on that. And we look forward to remaining a trusted partner in the future and to provide our shareholders with excellent returns in line with their expectations that they have with us. So thank you again for the opportunity to celebrate this with you all today. Thank you very much.
OMV Petrom is one of BVB's most important partners in promoting the Romanian capital market towards both international and local investors and partners. And I would like to invite BVB's CEO, Mr. Adrian Tănase, to try to summarize this important partnership in a few words.
Good morning.
This is a very important event today. You have our biggest company, the most important partner for Bucharest Stock Exchange in many fields, celebrating 20 years of since it has been listed. It was a great journey for the company. The market capitalization has increased by 10 times, and we are not including the dividends paid within this period. And I'm very glad that we have this great synchronization with promoting OMV Petrom to the FTSE Russell indices. This is a big step forward for the company and big step forward for the stock exchange itself. We are very proud to have this very important company for Romanian economy as a listed company. It's our biggest, let's say, provider of market capitalization. It's a very important provider of market liquidity. And as I already mentioned, it's a very important partner for us to promote the values demanded by the international investor community. And we are intensively working with OMV Petrom team to promote the corporate governance values, the sustainability values, and of course the investor relationship values. Again, we are very proud to have you here, and I would like to wish you great success in your very important project for the Romanian economy and for the Bucharest Stock Exchange. Congratulations again, and thank you very much.
And now we'll switch to the most important part for the journalists, as I know, the Q&A session. So, Christina, would you please?
They may have some questions for you guys.
Hi, Mihai from Bursă. We're at this milestone now. How is Petrom going to look 20 years later? We're talking about investments in regenerables. What do you mean?
Yeah, so I think I think every oil and gas company is sort of looking at what does the future hold. Society expects many things. First of all, it's really important that we provide the energy that is needed every day. But this is something that society expects from us, and something I think that we do very well. And how do we make sure we can provide today, for tomorrow, and for in 20 years' time, recognizing that the energy mix is changing of that, and then making sure that we can take that through for our shareholders, for our stakeholders, and for society at large, given our scale within Romania. So right now we are looking at a few things. We plan to actually release our strategy 2030 in the coming period. We're working through that internally. And in that we will outline our plans with regards to energy transition. I will be clear, and you would expect to hear this from me, we do see for Romania the role of gas is very important in that energy transition. Yeah? So there is both low carbon and zero carbon opportunities that need to be pursued to be able to help Romania in its Fit for 55 and the journey for 2050.
And because you talk about gas, do you expect the offshore law to be finished this year? Because we've been talking we've heard from the ministry, we heard this was going to be finished during the last parliamentary session. Now this session is starting. What do you expect on this session?
So I think, as I've said, and I will continue to say, I think it's really crucial that we move the Black Sea forward. And I think we hear more and more people saying that, actually, in the media, how important it is that we move this forward. So the expectation is that the offshore law is done. The offshore law is the role of the parliamentary process and legislative process to do that. And based on what we've been told, it will be done this year, and we need it to be done this year.
Hello, congratulations and happy birthday from my side, Liviu Popescu, Ziarul Financiar. Given the certain circumstances in the Romanian government, from a scale to 1 to 5, how much does it impact OMV Petrom decision to invest in Neptune's Deep?
So, first of all, I've learned I'm not in the business of politics of that. I have worked in the oil and gas industry my entire career, all over the world, with that. One of the fundamental things that you do when you work in upstream is you work with governments. And what you do is you work with the people that are in those roles to make sure you can do your job and work through that. In the end, Romania decides who they put in those roles, and we will work for the people that are in those roles of that. So we look for predictability, we look for people and partners to be able to talk to in that role, and we will continue to do that here in Romania.
Thank you. And one more question, if I may. Any discussions with the Minister of Energy regarding the possible sale in Petrom to the employees?
The 8%. Yeah. No, I mean, in the end, this is actually not actually an OMV Petrom aspect. It's about a shareholding aspect with that. So we're here to support as needed from an administrative perspective, but actually, it's in that regard, it's not our file, and we're not right to be the people to speak about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adina Ardelanu, Financial Intelligence. Well, congratulations from my part also.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. The first two are regarding more capital market operations. So the first one, after the FTSE Russell announcement, what happened in OMV Petrom? Did you get more investor calls, more emails? Was there a frenzy about this announcement?
Yeah. What I can say is that the share price went up 8.5% that week, and that was on the announcement, because actually we don't actually go on to it until the 20th of September. But maybe the question is, what should it do? In the end, it drives more liquidity, which we always see as good for a market. It brings a bigger investor base, because they have a bigger investor base in that. So you have more companies that are interested in your company. It gives the company profile. And this is why I think it's not just important for OMV Petrom, but for Romania, because we see more and more Romanian companies, therefore, coming onto the FTSE Russell, which gives more investors for Romania as well.
All right. Can you give us an update about the capital increase with the fields that the state will apport to the capital of Petrom? Did you get more? Nu știu cum să zic. Drepturile de proprietate pe terenuri, pe terenurile aportate de stat.
The rights on the property owned by the state.
You have to increase the capital with the fields.
Yeah, the land share capital. Yeah, we call it the land share capital. So we're working through that at this point in time to be able to do the final one of that. So we're working through that with the Ministry of Energy, and we're beginning to make, I'd say, good progress to get this file closed out.
When do you expect?
I probably can't put that date out yet, but we're working towards a date. When we're able to, I'll let you know.
Okay, and one final question: what are your expectations for this winter regarding the gas market? Considering the actual price, the actual situation, the production.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, we were talking about this get ready for gas price question. I think it's very fair comment. So maybe talk a little bit about what's happening overall. I think, first of all, I think what you can see is that the economies in Europe and across the world are recovering. So we have an increase in demand from that. So the phenomenon that we're seeing in Romania is not just for Romania. It's across Europe that we can see gas prices. In fact, gas prices in Europe and the rest of Europe are actually higher than we see in Romania at this point in time. So, and with that also supply. And what we are also seeing is some of the LNG supply that was coming to Europe in the past is now actually going to Asia, because Asia also has increasing demand. So in essence, prices is an outcome of supply and demand on that. So what I do think is really important, and we do see strong voices, I think, coming from the government, is what we see when we have high commodity prices, is that it's really important to be able to support your vulnerable customers. And best practice shown across Europe and in place is that there are mechanisms in place to support vulnerable customers. This legislation, I believe, is being worked on. I think this is really fundamental to have in place of that. So, because commodity prices do come up and do go down, but when they go up, there's certain parts of the economy that need to be protected, and those are the vulnerable customers. So this, I think, is important to be put into place of that. So, in the end, we are comfortable with our storage levels that we have in place within Petrom to be able to serve our customers of that. And, Romania is now more and more connected. We think this is important for energy security, to make sure that, yes, gas can go out, but gas can come in, to make sure you have enough supply for the winter. Thank you. That's good? Excellent. Thank you. Nice to see you all this morning. Thank you.
Vă mulțumim tuturor că ați fost alături de noi astăzi și vă invităm să fiți în continuare cu ochii pe noi, pentru că inclusiv săptămâna viitoare vom anunța câteva noutăți Și, de fapt, așa cum v-am obișnuit în decursul acestui an, cam în fiecare săptămână se întâmplă câte ceva la Bursa de Valori București. Așadar, continuați să ne urmăriți pe site-ul nostru, bvb.ro, și pe canalele noastre de social media. Până atunci, eu sunt Ștefan Muzgociu, specialist Business Development și Marketing la Bursa de Valori București și în numele tuturor colegilor mei vă doresc o zi bună și un weekend liniștitor. La revedere!